So I was called to put the rose quartz in my cup because when we think about it, you know, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, it goes into our mouth, into our body, and it's digested into our system. And then we have to think, you know, when we take spiritual baths, the crystals in the water gets infused in our aura and our energy, but it doesn't go in our system, you know, where we really need a cleansing from the, you know, from the inside out kind of vibe, right? Hi my YouTube people, welcome to my newest video, and I want to talk to you guys about a little bit, or I want to talk to you a little bit about an experiment that I did, where I put a huge, you can see this huge rose quartz crystal in this cup of, this is actually some Pinot Grigio or Moscato wine, white wine, and it's been a long day, don't judge me. And I put this rose quartz in this cup. Every time I drink out of it, this is typically a cup I drink coffee out of. I finished my coffee for the day, so now there's wine in here. Sometimes I'll put water in it, or juice. I'm not a big soda drinker, but I do love Arizona green tea, so I'll drink that a lot. I should have said this was Arizona green tea actually. But anyways, I did an experiment where I put this rose quartz crystal in my cup and I drank out of it all day, every day. And I want to talk about my experience. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you, before we get into that, thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel. I'm Lamarr Townsend, and welcome to another episode of Lamarr Does Life, where I vlog, I talk about lifestyle things and life things, spiritual things. I also do cooking videos, so thank you for being here. I do have a main channel titled Lamarr Townsend Tarot. The link should be in the description box below, the comment section below, or somewhere on my YouTube channel, alright? Or you can just Google it. And there I do a lot of spiritual focused things, tarot readings, psychic readings, astrology, birth chart readings. I do a lot of readings on world events and celebrities, and I do the zodiac signs sometimes. But I also have a Patreon if you want to check that out. I have a podcast on Spotify, Google, Anchor, Apple, and more. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. Check out my website, by the way, if you want a reading. I also do classes, spiritual development classes, which is something I just recently unveiled. I do astrology classes if you want to learn about astrology, the zodiac signs, sun, moon, and rising, and all those different types of things. I also do tarot classes if you want to learn how to read tarot. And I also do psychic tarot readings, personal readings, video recorded psychic readings, phone psychic readings, email psychic readings. I also do mediumship readings if you want to connect to your ancestors and spirit guides. I do past life readings if you want to learn about your past lives. I do compatibility birth chart readings if you want to compare your natal chart to someone else's. I do a lot, so check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Once again, the link should be in the description box in the comment section below. So, if you don't know about crystals and gemstones, most of them, not all of them, are actually natural, not man-made. Some of them are man-made, but most of them, such as rose quartz, are natural stones that actually grow from earth. Now, a lot of these stones are harvested from earth and then chiseled down to make them more appeasing, much like this crystal here, this rose quartz crystal. Most of them don't come out looking this pretty, looking this round, and svelte. They usually have to get chiseled down to look this way. But each crystal has its own specific purposes, and the purpose of rose quartz, if you don't notice, it's like pinkish kind of color or tint. The purpose of rose quartz is about love and self-love and manifesting these energies. So I thought, I have this big rose quartz crystal that I don't normally, I'm a crystal person. I have so many crystals around and gemstones around my apartment. Interestingly enough, I take spiritual baths. So when I take spiritual baths, I'll infuse the water with herbs, but I'll also put crystals in the water too. So, crystals is kind of a daily part of my life, but I've, for some reason, been called to incorporate them further in my life, and for some reason I've been called to infuse them in my water. Now you have to be careful because not all crystals are safe to put in your water or your food, but there are crystals such as quartz. This is rose quartz. The regular quartz is typically white. These are typically safe to put in your water, but you have to be careful of fragments of the crystal sometimes coming off, depending on, ragged edges or, rough edges or something like that. But typically, especially the rounded ones like this, are generally safe to put in your water. Now, am I saying you should put crystals in your water? No, be safe. Don't try this at home. But if you want to, experiment with a rose quartz, fully, I did it. I'm still here. I'm healthy. So you can try it at home. But I would just say do the rose quartz. I can't speak for any other crystal except for rose quartz. So I was called to put the rose quartz in my cup because when we think about it, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, it goes into our mouth, into our body, and it's digested into our system. And then we have to think, when we take spiritual baths, the crystals in the water gets infused in our aura and our energy, but it doesn't go in our system, where we really need a cleansing from the, from the inside out kind of vibe, right? So, sorry, I think I just got a message from a client. So, my experiment was that I wanted to use this rose quartz crystal. And another thing I like about gemstones is that you can kind of program them by holding them in your hand and saying a prayer to do what you want. For example, this necklace I'm wearing, I made myself, but has a lot of gemstones on it. Doesn't have rose quartz. Oh no, there is a little rose quartz right there, but it has other gemstones too. And I programmed this necklace for protection, but I specifically use this rose quartz in here for love and self-love. So what I do, and what I've been doing, is generally, of course, I clean the cup every night, and I also clean the rose quartz crystal every night. And then by morning time, once I wake up, everything's clean. So I have my coffee. I love Starbucks, as you can see. So I'll go to Starbucks, I'll bring my coffee, and then I don't like the Starbucks cups because they leak. Is that just a me thing? I can't stand that. So I like pouring the coffee in my own cups. And this has been my favorite cup to use because I like the straw aspect, which is really good for this experiment because you want to be safe. And make sure that, like, if you're tipping the cup over, you don't want the rose quartz to, kind of fall out of the cup if there's no covering here and smack you in the face, smack you in your teeth. You got to be careful, right? Be smart. So I really like using this type of cup for this experiment. And what I've been doing is every morning before I pour my coffee in the cup, I take my rose quartz crystal in my hand and I say a quick prayer. Usually I say something like, I want this rose quartz and this drink I'm about to drink to infuse me and my body and my energy and my aura with love, self-love. Help me to love myself further. Help me to be surrounded in love and self-love, but also help me to project that out into the world. And I have to be honest, I've noticed since doing this for the past week that I'm a lot more calmer. I'm a lot more conscious of my worth. For example, when it comes to dating, and I can only speak of, from my own gay perspective, as a single gay man, there's this thing sometimes, when it comes to, and maybe women out there, other men out there who aren't gay can relate. Sometimes you can want love so bad, and you can want a partner, a boyfriend, a wife, or whatever, girlfriend so bad, or a husband, that you kind of put your own self on the back burner in order to please the other person or to please someone else or to, make yourself worthy to someone else. But the true key to finding love is self-love. And I think what I'm learning as I do this more is that this is what this kind of experiment is teaching me. It's teaching me further about self-love and loving myself. I notice throughout the day when I drink my coffee that the words I speak, even when I'm upset or angry, are less harsh. I've always been conscious of what I say generally, but I noticed that with this experiment with the rose quartz and drinking from the cup, and you have to think of it as well, there's probably cups of rose quartz made specifically from rose quartz that you can drink out of, right? So this is not really anything new, but it's just something I was called to do. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, excuse the background noise, I have my window open. I've noticed that like I've been a lot more calmer within myself. I'm on dating apps, for example, and I don't know about you, but dating apps can be like a cesspool of toxicity. And usually in the past, you know, like, for example, on dating apps, it's common to get unmatched, unfriended, blocked for no reason. You know, you could be having a fabulous conversation with someone, and then suddenly they ghost you. These are all common things that happen on dating apps. Particularly in my case, as a gay man, maybe as a gay black man. This experiment has been helping me with that, and it's helping me to realize it's not me, it's them. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this experiment, is helping me to realize that I'm right where I need to be in my life in terms of loving myself and working on myself, and I'm on the right path towards self-love. And if I love myself wholeheartedly, if I have the ability to do that, then I also give the ability for someone else to love me just the same, right? And it's so amazing how such wisdom can be ingrained in this little nugget that we call a rose quartz, gemstone, or crystal, you know? And I like to think as well it does something to the water, to the coffee, to the wine, to the whatever. Like it infuses it with its love, it infuses it with its beauty. And when I drink the liquid, I get infused with that energy from the inside out as well. And we have to think when it comes to our insides, how we feel on the inside, all of those things, our emotions, our feelings, our intuition, heartbreak, all of those things are going on inside of us. Now they can manifest outside of us in certain ways, especially if we are not dealing with it on our own timing. So it's important to be mindful of that. You know, like we can do all the candles we want, we can do all the spiritual baths, we can do all the saging we want, but we've got to pay attention to what we're putting in our body, all right? And I think, once again, this experiment has taught me so much. I'm going to keep doing it because ultimately my purpose with this is I want to manifest love. I want to manifest self-love within myself. And then I want to, from the inside out, my self-love that I'm fostering, I want to use that energy to attract the right person to me, who will love me just the same, if not more, you know, the way I love myself. And I'm on my journey to loving myself. Child, let me take a sip of this wine, honey. Oh, it tastes so good, you know. And I really feel good. Like, I really feel like I'm doing something spiritually for myself when I'm doing this. Alright? It's important to understand, you know, if you do decide to do this experiment, it's important to understand what, like, the purpose of the crystal you're using. Yes, we can program crystals for our own purposes, but it's kind of like herbs. Like, every herb kind of has its own meaning or purpose in the grand scheme of things, the spiritual scheme of things. Crystals are the same. So, you know, you might not get the same result in manifesting, you know, love or self-love by using a amethyst crystal, you know, versus a rose quartz crystal, alright? That's why I chose rose quartz and no other crystal. Now, will I add crystals to my infusion collection? I absolutely will, most likely. One thing I want to add to it is a citrine crystal, but in due time, alright? And also, as time goes on, I find you develop a relationship with the crystal that you use. And that's important too. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to enjoy this glass of wine. Am I going to drink it all at once? No. Heck no. I'll probably finish this by the end of the day, because this is a lot. But I thought I would just come on and tell you about this experience, you know, of infusing the liquids I drink with a rose quartz crystal. If you're struggling with self-love out there, or if you're trying to manifest love, think about doing this. It's basically a magical ritual in a way, alright? Alright, you guys, I'm going to go. I hope I was able to give you some clarity and insight and some help. And I hope that this experiment, you know, gave you some ideas, alright? Remember, not all crystals are safe to drink with or eat with, so you've got to be careful, do your research. Rose quartz, I believe, for the most part, is safe, alright? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this video. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in your own personal reading. Either way, I will see you soon. Love and light.